On today's episode of Anime Afterthought, Tonikawa, Over the Moon for You, episode 11, Friends. Do you guys remember what NASA said about his marriage to Tsukasa? He wants it to be something that everyone can be happy about. This episode is a giant leap in the right direction. For what are the people closest to our two main characters, they act as their surrogate family. The Arasugawas, Aya and Kaname, as well as Chitose, hell, even Charlotte and Aurora. These are the closest people to NASA and Tsukasa. So it was inevitable that these two groups would eventually meet. And I absolutely love the narrative decision that made this possible. Once again desiring to check up on Tsukasa, Chitose is quick to notice that the newlyweds' apartment is no longer there. And although she soon discovers that thankfully they were still away at Nara during this incident, she still worries for Tsukasa, only to serendipitously witness her strolling by. Now I do question why Tsukasa is so adamant on Chitose not knowing where she lives, purely from a sense of safety? Maybe the family that took you in that you were living with previously should know your whereabouts, but then I'm thinking maybe it's just geared towards Chitose, seeing how oh so comfortable she fits into the pesky little sister role, and how annoyingly unacceptable she is when it comes to her relationship with NASA. Now while she is able to initially dip out on Chitose and the maids, she's eventually discovered at the bathhouse, and thus our two groups meet. Yes, Kaname, the ever-shrewd businesswoman, taking this opportunity to sell the services the bathhouse provides under the guise of clear thinking. So clear, in fact, that Chitose completely forgets the reasons she's there, arguing that why is she staying in a place like this, a phrase that initially upsets Kaname, which Chitose is quick to eat her words. I mean, she even goes as far as bribing Tsukasa. You know what? This place might have a Mega Drive, but I can buy one of those. I can buy a Piprin, a Laser Active, whatever the fuck you want. Just please come stay at my house. Only to have this conversation interjected by Aya. Hearing the commotion outside and the laundry list of rare consoles, has decided that if Tsukasa will not take you up on this opportunity, I will. And at this point, the conversation seems to be at a standstill as each side is taking their own stand, and it's getting quite confusing, but we can't forget why Tsukasa was out shopping in the first place. Discovering a giant pile of broken electronics that the absentee father left behind, NASA discovered a takoyaki hot plate. With her husband being overly impressed, to which was a cast iron oddity to him, she offers to make him takoyaki. He decides to take it a step further. You know what? Let's have a taco party. It's the thing all the cool kids are doing. So with everyone already gathered in front of the bathhouse, this seems like a perfect opportunity. Come on guys, let's go have some takoyaki. There'll be other snacks. I mean, let's have a party. And so they do. And super glorious Tsukasa is perfect type of fashion. I mean, even I was like, you know what? Modern age chicks, they don't know how to cook. It's my opportunity to prove that she's just no good for NASA. Of course, Chitose hears that and is like, bitch, he has to prove he's good enough for Tsukasa. I mean, you can see each one admires the other person, these two almost higher beings to them. I mean, quite literally, NASA saved the Arasugawa family. They said they were on the verge of bankrupt, in debt, and he completely turned everything around, completely innovated the whole business. I mean, they hold him in such high regard, the same way that Chitose does Tsukasa. So it's like seeing them argue almost like who's better is hilarious, because to them, they just fucking love each other. But like I said, I want to take this opportunity to, you know, oh, she can't cook, she can't be perfect. Yeah, that backfires when we all know at this point Tsukasa is a master chef, shokugeki level type shit. I mean, even her aperitifs, like a fucking pizza and all that other shit, looked fucking delicious. We haven't even get to the main attraction yet, and it doesn't look like we'll get there anytime soon, as Aya, upset by this latest revelation that her once rival in love is an OG cook, decides to do the one thing that she seems proud of: challenge everyone to a fucking video game. Now, I'm so glad that they actually used real video games in this and actual names of consoles. Like this whole episode, there is no subtle reference. The whole thing is like the second half is a fucking reference. Street Fighter V, the original Street Fighter, Solitaire, you know, Minesweeper. Like, so glad they actually used the real fucking video game animation. So fucking glad. Not to mention, we find out that Tsukasa, and in turn Aya, are legit esports pro. I mean, not only is she a movie buff, but she seems to be like a hardcore fucking gamer. So hard, in fact, that she knows about Mega Drives and the original Street Fighter, and not only that, but how to fucking play it. Like, her mystery keeps deepening, like, so fucking much. But to see them form like a friendly rivalry and then eventually bond over this whole episode, episode. I absolutely love it. And although it is subtle in today's episode, Nasa shows off too. He might not be the best gamer, but you gotta realize he recreated a mini arcade machine and duplicated the original controllers. Like, that takes some big brain power, or at least, I don't know, a couple YouTube videos, all because his lovely wife asked him to. And I just, fucking so adorable. So although the competition that Charlotte initially set up to get one favor from NASA ends with no one claiming the prize, in the end, it looks like their relationship was the true winner, as Chitose is watching them together, like actually watching them bond and just being each other's company is so fucking cute. Where we know that Tsukasa is a master chef and NASA can't even flip a takoyaki, the way they interact is genuine and warm, and she is finally realizing that. Still putting on that brave, non-accepting front, but it looks like slowly but surely NASA has worked his magic and has worked his way into her heart. Like, it's just, like I said, I absolutely love this episode. It's taking the groups that are closest to our two main characters and finally getting them to interact, and in such a positive and warm manner. Like, I fucking love the party. I'm a little jealous I wasn't invited, but no, I'm just so glad that Chitose was finally able to realize that Tsukasa is happy with NASA, and that's all that really matters. So the only question now is, how does Tonikawa decide to end the anime? I mean, we've been pretty light and fluffy since episode 2, you know, given that episode 1 almost had our main characters die, but seeing that preview, it looks like it's gonna be a little bit more intense. You know, in Tonikawa fashion, NASA seems to be sick, and it's up to Tsukasa to take care of him, really emphasizing that old adage, in sickness and in health. But honestly, I'm looking forward for the season finale. There's two things I want. I'd like to leave off in some kind of cliffhanger. It doesn't have to be tragic. It just has to be, I don't know, maybe a reveal. Maybe we'll actually get some more info on Tsukasa, maybe introduction of a new character, something that really sets its season finale apart. Besides that, I know I'm asking for a lot, but maybe a renewal for a second season? Ugh, fingers crossed. Yes, I know I'm asking a lot, but I really fucking want one. But no matter how they decide to end it, I'll say this has been one hell of a ride. I mean, I really did enjoy this series. This is a nice pick-me-up, a different change of pace when it comes to what I normally enjoy, what I normally watch. So with all that being said, and the final episode of Tonikawa next week, I honestly cannot wait for future episodes.